Hello, friends. Welcome back to another edition of Technology Discussions with me, John Hetherington. It's been a while, actually, so I figured it's about time I did this again because I've been doing a lot of workshops recently. And a question I get over and over again is how do I get started with AI? Because artificial intelligence, AI, truly is a tidal wave coming at us. And lots of people are, I've even heard the word scared of all the technology coming at us. Where do I start? So I figured I'd break it down. Actually, I'm going to share with you a great little framework that I got from my business coach, Dan Martell, called the AI Adoption Ladder. And I've adapted it to my experience with using AI for businesses and my clients. And hopefully it will help you start your journey with getting started with AI. So as always, drop your questions in the chat. I'm looking forward to answering your questions. I've got 3 or 4 questions already. So thank you for sending that through. I'm looking forward to answer those. But without any other pauses, let's get into it. So as I mentioned, I do want to set the scene because AI is a tidal wave. It really is coming at us fast. It doesn't take much to hear about AI in the news, in our feeds, in our email updates. It's just everywhere. But the point is, you don't want to be left behind. And that doesn't mean you have to suddenly go out there and launch a big AI project. Doesn't mean you have to start learning how to code large language models, LLMs. But it does mean you need to understand AI, understand what it can do and how it works. And that's really important because there's so much investment going into AI right now. There's so much big business pouring in billions of dollars into this that it's inevitable that it will be a life-changing, work-changing revolution of how we work. And my goal here is to just break it down to say why it's not going to be as scary as you might think and how to work through a framework to start adopting it, because you don't want to bury your head in the sand. That's why I love this. I love this image that AI created, an AI image that I created. You don't want to be on the beach burying your head in the sand. You want to be that surfer. If you can see that little surfer against that tidal wave of AI, that's where you want to be, riding the wave. And I get it. I get why AI can be overwhelming, because I also hear this a lot as well. AI will take your job. But here's the thing. AI will actually take your job to the next level if you let it. And I don't want to diminish this because there are some jobs that will go away. Absolutely. AI will replace a lot of these transactional based jobs where we're entering information or collecting information, and even some of the research, translation, for example, translating languages. And I was just reading a book the other day around how outreach. So a lot of companies do outreach on LinkedIn, through email, or even video messaging. But the AI is getting so sophisticated these days that it could actually do some of this outreach for us. And I'm going to come on to AI agents in a minute and how they can actually build these automated outreach messages. But the point is, marketing is going to change. Marketing and how we outreach to our customers, our clients, our friends, that can all be done by AI. Not quite yet, but it's getting close. So it will take your job to the next level if you let it. And I've seen AI save 4 hours a week. That's a lot. That's advanced AI usage, but it can save a lot of time, up to 4 hours so far. Number 2 here is really important. So if you're not using AI in your business, then you're going to potentially lose staff, because people want to work with leading edge companies. They want to work with companies that are adopting new technology. So you don't have to be bleeding edge in terms of the forefront of new AI developments, but your company does need to be using AI, because that's going to attract and retain people and staff. They're going to feel that you've invested in them. And then number 3 is it's going to help you become a more strategic thinker. And you're probably thinking, John, why? Why is that? That doesn't make any sense, because AI is taking our job, but it's also doing a lot of thinking for us. And that is true. But what I've found from my use of AI is that I've had to change how I think about my work and my deliverables and my interactions with my clients, and then using AI to enhance that. How do I use AI to do my job better? And this is where I'm starting to think more strategically. When I ask my team about how they're using AI, they're coming up with new ways I hadn't even thought of. So really see it as another tool. It's another a Swiss Army knife in your toolbox of doing your job better. And again, it will replace some jobs, but it's going to enhance many other jobs. And it's also, more importantly, going to create new jobs. The whole idea of AI prompting is a job in itself. Training companies and other people on how to do prompt engineering is a whole job in itself. So even though I say that, you're probably still thinking, okay, it's all hype. What can it do for me? And it doesn't work for our business. Our business is special. It's a snowflake. AI doesn't understand our business. And that may be true. But again, it doesn't mean you shouldn't look at AI. You shouldn't look at what's going there, what's going on, just keeping up to date, because like I said, it's a huge investment. And the biggest pushback I hear on AI is, what if it's wrong? And that's where I love this quote, because what if AI is wrong? Well, 50% automated or 50% AI generated is still 100% awesome, because that's 50% of your time or 50% of the effort of that work being done by someone else, or AI in this case. And how cool is that? It's freeing up your time to do more important work. It's freeing up your time to use AI more, or make people connections to really do the things that AI can't, like the leadership, the strategic thinking. And that's why I do think AI is awesome if you use it in the right way. So that's the point of today, folks. We're going to talk through the AI adoption ladder, the 5 steps, the 5 rungs of the ladder that you can use to start with AI and then adopt it all the way through to custom language models. So you ready? Well, let's get stuck in and keep those questions coming. That's awesome. Love those coming in. I'll also make sure we answer the questions at the end. I've got a slide specifically on some of the questions I heard before. Okay, so here it is. The AI adoption ladder. So this ladder has 5 rungs. And what I'm going to take you through now is the 5 steps to start adopting AI. And you may already be on a rung already, and that's awesome. But here's a really good structured approach that I've seen work well for just from beginners all the way through to advanced. So wherever your stage in AI, guarantee you're going to learn something here. And always looking for feedback on this. It's like, how are you using AI? So let's go through this. Starts with number 1, chat. And you'll notice the function, the focus, and the frequency here. So the function is, what are you doing? What are you using? So this will be chat, ChatGPT, Copilot, interacting with the chatbots, the LLMs, to have conversations, to answer questions. And the focus in the middle there is play. Play around with it. Have fun. Have AI create a rhyme or a song or a birthday party planning or a trip planning agenda for you. And the frequency, the 3rd column, use it daily. I do want to encourage you, just try it out every single day. I'm using the chat LLMs, the language models every day now. It's so useful. Even if it's just to bounce an idea, to explain something. Just the other day, I was asking to break down nuclear fission of all things. I understood what nuclear fission was, but I didn't really understand it in detail. So I said, break it down and talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Understand, and it created an amazing explanation of that. Even can talk about business financing. So I wanted to know about the 5 stages of seed funding for venture capitalists. Again, break it down like I'm a 5th grader. Understand, break it down into real simplistic terms, and then you can go advanced, and you can go really deep on these topics. So number 1 is just chat, just play every day. Just go on Copilot, the ChatGPTs, and just play around with it. Get to use it. So if you're already doing this, awesome. The next step is system. Now, system is an acronym standing for save yourself time, effort, and money. So again, I love that acronym, save yourself time, effort, and money. And the reason I say that is because when you're using the AI to create a process or SOP, the standard operating procedure, that's saving you time and effort and money, because you're saying, hey, ChatGPT or Copilot, create a process for, and I always like onboarding. So for onboarding a new member of my team, because I know how to onboard a new member of my team, but I don't want to have to talk. I want us to share it every time. I want to meet my new member, the team member, but I want to give them a checklist and say, here's what we expect. Here's how we work. Here's where we go through this. And while ChatGPT won't know my business exactly, that's step 5, we'll come on to that in a second. But step 2, ChatGPT won't know my business specifically, although I can give it guiding. So I can say, for a technology consulting firm, which looks at KPI dashboards and AI adoption to ultimately grow revenue profit, what are the typical onboarding steps for someone joining my team to start with the dashboard KPI creation and delivery? And it will create those steps for you. Even if it's not perfect, again, 50% automated is still 100% awesome. And then you can use it for things like status reporting. What are the steps to create a status report? Board presentations. What's a good content for a board presentation? So just create those processes, those standard operating procedures, and do that weekly. And again, it just takes away that legwork, that initial document for you. And then you can export that to Word or PowerPoint, and then you can create your own standard operating procedures for your business. And then the sky's the limit. You can do it for every single process you have, from expenses to promotion to payroll to everything. Again, won't be perfect, but it helps you get started. And I really love that. That's step number 2. So then you get step number 3, the tool. So these are off-the-shelf AI tools, and the focus is you're looking at products. And you probably do this monthly. You don't necessarily want to do it every day, but you're going to be looking at tools that are off the shelf. And there are hundreds of thousands of different AI tools out there. So here's where we get into the tricky part. How do you select the right tool? And this is a difficult challenge, but this is the same with every single technology that I've worked in for my career back in the 90s when I first got into technology and evaluating technology software. How do you pick the right tool? And it always starts with, what do you need? What's that requirement? What's that problem you're solving? What's that goal you need to want to achieve for your business? Being it grow revenue, serving customers, reducing costs. Get very specific, and then look at the products or tools. And the same for AI. There's a load of tools out there, lots of tools out there. A great website I've used is called there'sanaiforthat.com. I'll say that again, there'sanaiforthat.com. And I'll put this into the comments later. So that website lists every single AI tool out there, and then you can search by functionality, by product, by project, by topic, and it gives you a great list of here's the AI tools you could use. And that's really useful just to help you get through the field and the sea of all these AI tools out there. So that's when you start looking at tools. These are specific AI tools that you can use with your business. Then you get to step 4, which is the APIs or AI agents. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. And think of it like the pipes, the connection. This is connecting apps and systems together. It's the plumbing between systems. And the reason I put focus there as plugged in is because that's what it does. It plugs in these systems together, and the frequency of this data flow is at least hourly, if not real time. So, for example, it might be connecting your expense management, financial accounting system through to your HR system. The APIs and the agents can connect that together for you. And here's the trick. The reason that's important is because then you can start to streamline workflows, start to do things for you that take time. So, for example, expenses. I don't know about you, but filling expenses is always a bit of a pain. It takes time. It feels tedious. But here's where the AI and agent and the API can come in, because an AI agent or API connects your accounting system with where your expenses and the costs are logged, with your HR system where your personal details are, your employee ID, whatever your details are, and it puts it together to create an expense report form, and then maybe puts it into your expense reporting system. That's where the AI agent works its magic. It's pulling those things together. And that's what I love about starting to see the magic of how AI and other workflow tools can come together. So that's where it's pulling information, the plugged in. Then you get to step 5. So this is advanced. And that's why I've put the focus as Pioneer, because you're building custom LLMs. So these are large language models. So ChatGPT, Copilot, they're large language models, but they're built on internet data. Unless they're boiled down to a specific data set, they're typically trained and built on the internet. And you know what the internet data is like, some good, some bad, some not so good. So what you're building here is a custom large language model for your business or your service or your team based on your data. The language model might be trained on the internet data, but then it's applying it to a specific element or a specific set of data based on your business or your even your personality. So, for example, it could be a John GPT instead of Chat GPT. It's a John GPT because I've programmed it based on everything I've ever done in terms of all my presentations, all my client deliverables, all my employee history. So it's gone through all of my social feeds. I've shared all my my library of deliverables and presentations. And so then I can ask it, act like John to create a presentation, to build a KPI dashboard for CEOs to make better decisions for their business. And then it's because it's customized, it's taking information based on what I've done. And this is the scary, both and exciting part of AI is it's starting to mimic what you do, who you are. Because once you start getting to this point, you're going to be using it all the time because it's working on your behalf to free up your time to then take that presentation, to take that information and share it with clients. And this is where it gets really exciting. And this is advanced stuff. This is where you need the AI developers, you need the coders to build the models, the custom models. And AI programming is at a premium. The coders there are charging a premium. So, but there are some free versions out there as well. So again, so starting at number one, all the way to number 5, just start with chat, go to the system, the tool, the APIs, and then the custom. And that's an AI adoption ladder, right from beginner all the way to advanced. And I've seen this used over and over again so many times. It's just a really easy way to start your AI adoption. And you'll notice at the bottom there in the targets, technology, and team, the blue of technology is AI is around technology. But an important point here, you can't use AI unless you have a target, the goal, because this is part of a bigger workshop I do to share how to leverage technology to grow business and increase your profit and revenue and ultimately get the KPI dashboards. You need to make the right decisions, but it starts with the target. What are those measures? What are the goals that you want to achieve through cost reduction, doing more with less, doing more with the same amount of people? You want to keep your staff, but increase their productivity. You really need to boil it down to those KPIs, the key performance indicators, and the objectives and key results. And that's where then you get to technology, the AI. And then number 3 is those in the workshop there at the bottom is around team, because you have to work with your team to make sure that they're using the technology and the targets in the right way to be productive. So anyway, that's a future topic for another session, but I wanted just to introduce the fact that technology has to be started with a target, and then you have to have your team. That's why I call that 3 T's. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to talk about the AI agents, and then we're going to wrap up on the questions. So for AI agents, because this is fascinating, the more I dig into this, the more both, again, scary and as exciting is what this can do. So an AI agent, as you can see here, it starts with a user, you doing a prompt, you're prompting AI, the AI agent's in the middle, and then the task it creates is the output. So that's pretty simple. Prompt, AI agent, and the task complete. But here's the trick. Here's where AI agents are getting so advanced and so sophisticated. Truly, the world is your oyster in terms of what it can do. So starting, the agent not only looks at its current data set, it goes to any data. So any document. So number 1 there in the top right, it's starting to pull in any data from anywhere. Then it's starting to pull code. It's starting to write code. So it might actually create its own code if it can't execute the command itself. It's saying, hey, I want to create an onboarding process specifically for a new Power BI consultant joining my team. Okay, let's look at the documents around Power BI that could be from anywhere, not just the internet, but also my business. But also then it's going to create code to write some sample Power BI extracts and some programming for the new onboarding person to actually use as part of their onboarding, do a quick quiz on Power BI. So it's starting to create code to show that and create that onboarding deck. Then it goes a bit further. it goes into the large language model. So now it's reaching out to the Metas, the ChatGPTs, the Perplexities, the Googles of the world. It's going out to other AI agents and other ChatGPT or chat models to do it research for it. So it's actually starting to ask questions to other AI tools. So again, that's incredibly sophisticated. And also, and then also bring in the any machine learning in the bottom left there. Sorry, bottom right. So it's bringing machine learning from any other place as well. So you can see here the 4 points it's bringing together to create that target output. So it's much more sophisticated. So here's a way to break it down. That's a lot to take in. So here's a way to break it down. There are 2 types of AI agents at the moment. One is tools-based. So as mentioned before, maybe it's filling in a form, your expenses, or maybe it's booking an agenda for you for travel. Maybe one day it can actually say, hey, I want to travel to Hawaii. And the agent will then go find the flights, book the flights, and then send you the tickets if you give it a budget to work to. So it's filling in forms, it's connecting different tools together. And the second part of a second type of AI agent, this is where it gets a bit scary because there's tool-based and then there's simulation agents. So simulation agents actually act like you. They have your personality. And this is the scary part because a video like this of a simulated John could be making this presentation because they've mimicked the behaviors, the attitudes, the personality of me. And then it's presenting on my behalf. I'm not AI today, by the way, but in future it could be. And that's where we're going to have to bring our personality as humans. We're going to have to create ways of showing value in different ways because AI will be able to do this for us. And that's also exciting, but as I mentioned, it's also a bit scary because when it starts to use it for bad intent, it could be phoning up other people on your behalf, making calls on your behalf. We really have to put some guidelines in place to make sure that the AI agents we create have boundaries. They can only do certain things. They can't just go off and do anything they want because then they start to do things on our behalf, and that's not good. So anyway, I wanted to introduce AI agents because it's really, really important. This is where the industry is going, and it's the next level of the AI tools that are out there. So just let's all wrap this up. There's a lot to take in, folks. Again, I know it's quite a bit of information. The whole point is to show you this AI adoption ladder and give you a bit of a deep dive on AI agents. But let's just wrap up on these common questions that I got coming into this session. And this is what provoked me and gave me an idea to do this webinar to help you. So the common question is, how do I get started with AI? So that's what we covered with the ladder, the 5 steps around starting with the chat, then the process and the system. Then you get into tools, then you get into the APIs and the agents, and then you get into the custom at number 5. That's how you get started. But just start with chat. Just start playing around. Second question is, how can I apply AI to my business or role more effectively? So this is interesting. The best thing I found is just have a chat with your team. Get them to look into this. Do some research. Even ask ChatGPT or Copilot, how can I apply AI to my business? You have to describe your business, describe your role, but then use AI to help you use AI. That's what I love about this. You can really truly use it for anything you want, including how to help you in your business and role. And if you're not, and also reach out to me as well. I've got lots of case studies on how we've applied business AI to business and different roles. But again, just starting with documentation up that AI ladder is a great way to see how you can use it in your business or your role. Number 3 there, how do I navigate the tools? So there's hundreds of thousands of different tools out there. Some aren't even existing yet. They just promised things and they're not even built. There's also a lot of great AI tools out there. I would start with asking your current vendors, your current technology solutions, how they're using AI in their product that you're using now. So for example, if you're a small business using QuickBooks, talk to the QuickBooks people, understand how they're using AI in your tools and your subscription. If you're a bigger enterprise using Workday or SAP or any of the Oracle products, again, ask those people around how they're using AI for their tools. And that's a great way to start because you probably have access to a lot of this AI already. And then number 4, how do I vet AI responses for accuracy? So this is always very tricky because you can't trust AI to do everything exactly right. Most of the time it is good, but there are a number of times when it's not right. And the only way to find out is to check. So I would say if it's important, reach out to someone else and bounce the idea off them. So if you're looking at regulatory financial policies, regulatory interpretations, just check what it's coming back with. We're recently doing a security assessment using the NIST assessment. So the responses came back with AI, and I'm working with my team to check the responses from an AI to say, okay, if we're building out this NIST framework for assessments, has it covered everything? The other thing you can do is actually put the answers into different AI models. So sometimes I'll put the output from ChatGPT into Copilot and into Perplexity and see which one comes back saying, hey, I've got this answer. Is this correct? So you can actually bounce the AI models off each other. I find that quite fun because sometimes it gives you a good answer. Sometimes it makes it more confusing. But that's where you always go to the expert to confirm the accuracy. Because remember, folks, you are responsible for the output of AI, not the AI. You can't blame ChatGPT or Copilot for what you get from it. It's down to you. That's where the accountability lies. So those are the common 4 questions I get. There's usually lots of other questions I get on this one as well. But feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll make sure I respond to everyone. But just to wrap this up, because we went through that AI model, again, quite a lot to cover today, but I want to just leave you with this one question. How can I use AI? That's an open question. Think about it. Think about the ladder. Think about how you can, the tools that we talked about. Think about the standard operating procedures and the processes. Think about onboarding. Think about what you do on a daily basis and just think, okay, how could I use AI for that? And here's the trick. Ask AI how you could do that, because guarantee it'll have a good answer. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that helps you on a journey in adopting AI and how you can start with AI. And I always like to leave you with this quote, because the future belongs to those who transform, innovate, and deliver faster, which means the more you adopt AI, the more you get used to it, the more that you can transform and innovate. And hey, it's exciting to move forward with this new technology. So hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.